Vale is a town in the Southern Highlands. It was established in 1863. It has a population of 7,792 people. Subdivision of Throsby Park leads to the town of Vale. It was named after Jemmy Moss, a herdsman at Throsby Park. In the top end of Vale is the Jemmy Moss pub, where people meet to have a drink, eat or catch up with friends. The railway that was made in Vale encouraged more people to come to Vale and decide to live. People would move into Vale to get away from the Sydney heat, to live in a more rural part of New South Wales, or to explore more areas around Vale. Vale holds a large part of the Southern Highlands industry, as well as being a minor centre for agriculture. Many light and medium industries are found in and around Vale. There have been many changes in Vale over the past 150 years. I now interview Paul McCann to talk about these changes.
The industry in the area does have a big impact on the people who live here. Either you put your heels in the ground and you stay, or you move on and look for better opportunities elsewhere. So cultural integration is very subtle, and like myself, for instance, I come from Ireland, but people are used to the Irish because we sort of manufactured a lot of the roads and industries in the area. So the government haven't really helped by putting programs in place. I think the wonderful thing about integration of culture is it can either segregate or it can bring together communities.
How has the demographic character of the community changed?
The demographics were changed originally from the Gundagar people to more white settlers coming to the area. A lot of the original settlers, of course, had been forgotten about. So enormously, I think we can look at a population increase in demographically within 100 years of maybe 7,000 people. So that was a big change in the area.
How has globalisation affected Vale?
Globalisation today, we have YouTube, we have things like mobile phones, we have TV sets, where the original settlers in Vale had none of that. They were hard breed, these early settlers. They communicated probably through travellers on horses that were bringing news from township to township. With globalisation also, there comes things like eBay, there comes the greedy side of globalisation as well. We see the world as a village, they call it a global village, so we can actually talk to people through Skype and programs like that.
How have changing lifestyle expectations affected the community?
Expectations of what once was has changed dramatically. Expectations we need to constantly readdress and maybe put a plan ahead where we expect we want to be and we're who we should be as a nation of Australians and New Australians trying to live together in these areas, these rural areas like Mossville.
How has resource depletion affected Mossville?
The resource depletion, well, we look at what used to be resources in the area. For one, we had a rural village that relied on horses, and the whole that brought different resources to the area: saddles, feed, as I said before, places to live. Today, that's all changed. You know, you don't see as many horses in the street, or horse poo on the roads. We have cars, lots and lots of them. We need car parks. We need petrol stations. We need more work on the roads to maintain those, because more and more the roads are getting damaged. The resources now, because of the demographic side of the equation, we have people getting sick. We need new medical centres. We need new hospitals. We need new technology to understand how we can help a greater number of people coming to live in the area.
How have new technologies affected the community?
People welcome new technologies, as does business. I think the schools as well are well ahead with educating students on new technologies. There are ways to live a better lifestyle. We can have better homes, better heating, better food. All of these have been looked at over the past 100 years since the first establishment of new roads and new buildings. So every new generation is always looking at technology in smaller ways and bigger ways.
Has recognition of native title
Yes.
affected Moss Vale?
I think we need to do that. The Gundagara people who lived here, they were the original people. We're the tourists, let's get that straight. We don't own the land. As we move into these areas of native title, we must always honour those people who were here long before we came. We did move in and we did give them things that were not their culture. And I guess we, in our own sense, thought, we could make changes. And that is a good word. And we brought change to what they had, how they lived their life. Whether you agree or not, were we right in doing so or not? I think the Gundagara people who were here would say, no, we don't like the change that you brought. In that aspect, if you get the image of the people whose heritage and lifestyle we stole and took, have we addressed that? I don't think so. And I think we need to more and more look at giving that native title back to those people in small ways and big ways and recognise who they were.
How have levels of government, such as local, state and federal, contributed to change in this community of Moss Vale?
Well, you can look around at some of the nursing homes, the aged care nursing homes. Moss Vale has a big place called Harbison Care. Most of that, they're funded by the government. So you get the state government. There's also the intellectually disabled people and the physically disabled people who receive money from the government through ADAC and different sources, where those people can have assistance in their life. They can have transportation, they can have a place where they can work during the day, which gives them dignity. And we also look at things like the swimming pool that's being built in Moss Vale. That has been on the local government level discussion groups for about 12 months, and there's been lots of new developments put in place through the council. Some are accepted and some are not.
What are the positive impacts of changes in Moss Vale?
I think the more positive we are about where we're headed, we're seeing change, safer traffic lights, safer roads. We're seeing better schooling, better infrastructures within the schools. We're seeing new areas we're seeing new medical centres, improvements in hospitals. So all that is what we're starting to appreciate more and more.
What are the negative impacts of changes within Moss Vale?
One of the negative things that we're seeing today is the amount of crime that is growing in our society. And I can't put a solution there, but there are people who don't want to work for a living, for instance, and they would rather break into your home. There are people who manufacture narcotics to make money quickly, to become millionaires before they're 21. We see crime escalating more than ever. I think the want to succeed, the want to have a big house, the want to have a comfortable lifestyle, that's not a good thing. That's very negative. Moss Vale has one of the highest number of registered gun holders in the country, so that is a negative and a very worrying aspect of the society that we're living in.
Moss Vale has several heritage buildings. In the centre of Moss Vale is Leighton Gardens. This year, the council are putting in new gardens here as more people are moving into the area, and the council wants it to be more inviting for the people that have moved here. Opposite the gardens is Moss Vale Courthouse. Moss Vale Pool has always been popular. This year they are redoing it, as Moss Vale now has more people coming into the area and more demand on the facilities around us. This is what they plan it to look like. Throughout Mossvale, the roads have now been widened as there are more traffic on the roads. The roads have been redone in some areas as holes have developed due to the traffic.